All right, guys. Today I am here with Mr. Matthew Haynes. He is someone that I've known for many years, actually. But he's a designer that I've known through the Australian in-front design community, and he used to run analog digital conferences. And last I checked, which was last night, it's now the Design Conference.
That's correct.
So it's awesome, man. Like I have been out of this design scene for many, many years. So yesterday I put up, or a couple of days ago, I put up on my Facebook asking for advice on podcast streaming. And Matt, you sent me a direct message.
Yeah.
And when I scrolled up, I realized that the last time you and I spoke was 2012, which was
That's
a
fun.
long time ago. And in 2012 you messaged me to say that Damien and Zan had added you on to Infront as a contributor.
Yeah.
So that's how long ago
Good
that was.
guys.
Yeah. And it just brings memories back because I started Infront in 99, and at some
Hmm.
stage sort of started up other communities, and my heart sort of wasn't in front anymore. So Damien came along in 2010 and said, Justin, I'm really into design right now. Like he was at the thick of it in
I think
2010.
he still is.
Well, he's always on the go, that guy. But he proposed to relaunch In Front with Zan and turn it into a proprietary limited, and all the stuff that I never kind of ever thought of. But
Mhm.
like the amount of energy that him
Well,
and Zan
adult
brought to In
shit.
Front. Adult shit, man. That's it. Like it got all serious and crap. But and it was really sad to say goodbye to some of the old In Front founders as well, because that really hurt. That's a really emotional thing for me to upset a couple of the guys. That was kind of like, well, now In Front's going corporate. We kind of have to start fresh, and all the old stuff's getting deleted. And it was a really tough decision for me, but I think for the better, because Damien and Zan just brought so much energy to In Front, and we ended up doing the field trip conferences. And if anything, that those two guys were whipping me a lot, like, come on, Justin, you got to join us on this energy level. But at that
Yeah.
stage, I was starting up another community on the side that was taking up. You know what it's like, man. Like I know you've got a lot of energy, but when you put all your passion into one
Fuck.
thing, it's really hard to put it into multiple communities. Like it
Yeah.
was
I mean,
difficult.
like, I, I totally feel that. Like, um, when you're young, I suppose you sort of, it's kind of like design, like someone gives you a brief and it's like, well, there's 1,001 ways I could take this. Like when you're young, I suppose you think there's 1,001 ways I could live my life. And when something like really beautiful crosses your path, like an idea, an opportunity to participate in the world or participate in your own life in the way that you never imagined, um, you kind of like, why wouldn't you jump on board? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't you like double the workload, like sleeps for the dead people, like go hard or go home
Totally,
type
man.
thing. And
It's it's it's
well,
it's it's
I
it's
had
like
one of
it's easy
those
to
things.
say no, right? Like it's easy to say no because you're afraid, or because like you don't want to take a risk or something. But you're the kind of guy that's like, you show up to stuff.
I think, like, not to quote Kanye, but fuck, I love quoting Kanye. But giving up is way harder than trying. Like,
Yeah,
man, I just want to live a life that is celebrated, not overtly like, oh, Matt Haynes, you're the fucking best. Thank you, da da da. I want to live a life that's celebrated internally by the people that I've come across and the lives that I've infected, like in a positive way. Like, I want people like that, man. That's what brings me the most joy. That's the currency of my life is being able to cross paths with someone and have positive impact on their life and them have a positive impact on my life and sort of go make the most of this. Like, and it all sort of started, and I've sort of spoken about this before, but I had a really strong grandfather who humble fella, and he at his funeral just had that many people rock up, and like fucking hands down one of the most like in the top 5 like deepest, saddest moments of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I realized there was a beauty to it, and like somehow, and this is kind of strange because I've been listening to heaps of man. Fucking this chair, I might have to switch it. Like
I can hear
so
that.
squeaky.
It's all right.
Yeah, I see kind of like beauty in sadness. Do you know what I
Mm,
mean? And
yeah.
like, and I live, or I kind of try and learn a lesson through sadness. Like that's somewhere I don't ever want to be, or like I acknowledge the emotional state of the situation, like the narrative in a beautiful song, like
Yep.
a like man, I've been listening to a lot of Jimmy Eat World lately. Like just man, going right back to my roots and listening to like Clarity, and it's just like basically got fucking tears in my eyes.
Yeah.
And I'm looking like
I get it.
scared to look at myself in the rearview mirror, man, just because I'm just like, man, how fucking good is life? Like I've got it so good. Like I've
But
been so blessed and all that sort of stuff. So like it's terrifying and it's sad, but for me, it's kind of like I'm motivated in a way of by fear.
yeah. Okay.
I'm scared to not I'm scared to not do the things that we're able to do for fear that they might change me in a way that nothing else could change me. Whether it's I don't know if I told you earlier, like tomorrow I'm doing a DMT ceremony, and like
Yeah, you mentioned that.
I've never really touched hallucinogenics.
Okay.
I mean, I've done acid before,
Oh, well, that's a
for me,
hallucinogenic. Yeah, but that's out of control
yeah,
shit. Yeah.
but like when I did acid, it was like I just was like thinking on a new level. Like I was just like,
Mm.
wow, man, like this will sound whack and people probably laugh at home, but it's like, what if everything does have feelings, like physical, emotional feelings? Like what you're just walking all over grass? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, walking on grass. I'm like, and what if the grass is like all these little grass people and you're just
So,
squashing them? Do you know what I mean? So I started walking on the sidewalk and I started thinking about like truly feeling the impact of recycling, and truly it started to feel the impact of my actions in secondary and tertiary ways where like I don't know if like when you were younger, but like I got bullied as a young kid and I
yeah,
was a
same.
bully.
Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, I was a bully, man. I was fucking massive. And we were
Mm.
poor and stuff. And I bullied kids only because I had poor sort of at that stage, poor father like men in my life. Like I
Mm-hmm.
lived with a single parent, like mum. My brother was like a tough kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always trying to impress my brother. So jumping off huge bridges, like like getting in fights. So the whole time, man, I was not being true to myself. Like I was not. I was terrified. I didn't want to get in fights. I just wanted to be friends with everyone.
Yep.
I wanted to make the most of everything. And as my brother, because he's 6 years older than me,
Mm-hmm.
that's like a really important age or a really infectious age. Because when he was fucking running amok at 15, I was just old enough to understand what he was doing wrong
Right.
and just old enough to participate. Like, well, not even old enough to participate, but I didn't have a choice, man. Like,
Yep.
mum would fucking probably die, but I had my first fucking cone at 10.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can tell you right now, and I know my brother loves me, but he did that so I didn't dob on him.
Mm.
He's like, have a smoke, And so I've been through all these waves in my life, especially at a young age. And I suppose I was given this gift where I was able to confront like these levels of life and what life is and what life could be and what life should be and why it should be like that, and digest it in a way that's like, it's never too late. Like it's never too late to turn the boat around. Like I remember when I was doing grade 12, I was playing a lot of baseball, like a lot of baseball, because I played professional baseball straight out of high school. I was not unrestricted. I was a signed free agent professional baseball player straight out of high school from Maroochydore High. And on my baseball card, it says Maroochydore State University. like it's something. It's like, motherfucker, it's high school, right? But like, yeah. And I was dreaming that was achievable in my life.
Yep.
And so when I was in grade 12, I was like struggling academically because I couldn't do. I live on the coast, as you know, like sunny coast, and then playing baseball in Brisbane 5 days a week. I just couldn't get the transit. So I sort of said to the schools, like, well, can I do it over 2 years type thing? So
Okay.
if you're able to sort of step out of your situation and redesign your entire life, hashtag Vince Frost, Vince Frost, if you can design your own life, like, you don't have to live by the confines and the conditions that have been put before you.
Yeah.
If you have like the ability to step outside the confines and redesign the confines so you can thrive in this world.
It's about making it work for yourself, not, you know, that's really what it's about. Like, I think it
Yeah.
takes a long time for people to wake up to that first step, though, where you need to first of all think that you're not like just going with the flow like everybody else, and you sort of wake up at one stage and sort of think, oh shit, only dead fish go with the flow, and I might be able to somehow make this work for myself, as opposed to just going with the system. You know, like, I think the fact that you've
Well, I
even
mean, for
asked
me,
to change something for yourself is, it's not easy for people to
well, man,
even give themselves enough credit to think that they deserve being looked at in a different way or treated a little bit differently to make it work, you
well,
know?
in an roundabouts way, like I just saw what the students around me were achieving, and it's not that I was envious, but I was like, I can't let these opportunities pass me by. And I've taken that from high school into my professional career as a baseball player, and I have to admit, I wasn't mature enough when I went over to America. I wasn't. I very much had a mentality that to continually strive for results driven in the moment that would propel me onto the next level and onwards and upwards through the minor leagues to the major leagues. And the one thing that I don't regret, but I look back on now, that I should have been doing, was focusing on my weaknesses, because my weaknesses, like, I was never going to be able to play in the major leagues at that level. I needed to develop my game. Looking back, the only reason they kept me around is because I was a hard worker. I made everyone, because I couldn't beat my teammates on the field, so I beat them off the field. I beat them to the gym. I beat them in the gym. Some people just freakishly strong. I'd beat them, in training. I'd run, and I suppose I sort of learnt you can do anything you put your mind to. Like, you really, because somebody has to do that job. Like, whether it's you or somebody else, there's a fact and there's a truth to life, and somebody's got to do that job, whether it's cleaning the toilets or being president of the United States. Like, somebody has to do it, and it could always be you. And, like, for example, I say that in a way, like, I think it's ridiculous that more women aren't leaders. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just been a trend. Like, no, if I was a woman, I'd be like, I'm going to be the president of the United States as well. Like, fuck it. Like, break all rules. All rules are meant to be broken. And then when I came into design through GFC and whatnot, I ended up taking that same sort of, like, especially in university, I was gung-ho at baseball. And I took that, I'm going to go to university and I'm going to do my assignments. And if I've got time, I'm going to redo my assignments in a way that my first idea isn't allowed to create. It's not a version of my first project. It is another way to answer that brief.
Yep.
And so all these little things inevitably lended me up to what was analog digital, what became the design conference, and what will be the next evolution. Because, like, man, I swear to God, I think it's time to almost change up the game again. Like, I've been thinking about this lately, man. It's almost time to switch up TDC into something completely different. That's why we've been doing the podcast. I mean, COVID comes along, man. That's not only a curveball. That's like a knuckleball that's thrown by a left-hand submarine when you're expecting straight up righty. You're like, it's like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like, are you fucking, like, what the actual fuck?
Yeah.
Like, and I have to admit, man, it's like you're in a simulator. Like, honestly, it's like they're like, all right, next. All right. What's your name? Matt Haynes. All right. What level of the simulator do you want to attempt? Level hard, please.
That's
All
it.
right, hop in, give you the fucking red or the blue pill. And here I am, like, I'm still on top of the world. I'm still living my best life. Of course, there's things that I've got to do better, and I'm fucking striving for that every day. But life is a fucking trip, and you've got to get in there and have a fucking crack because,
Have you
like,
always been like this? Have you like you are like the new current generation would call you woke because that's what you sound like. But that's what they would just go, oh fuck, this is a woke guy. Um, there's a whole lot of people, obviously, a whole lot of young people out there that are really uh, not motivated. They don't have real confidence. They have ego. Everyone fucking has ego, but it comes
yeah,
from a
yeah,
place of attitude. It doesn't come from a place of mastering anything. Like they're not the masters of anything yet. They're fucking loud, but they have this deep down inside. They know that they haven't given anything 110% like you and I have. They have this feeling of, oh fuck, I want to sort of try to quit this position that I'm in and try something new, but the risk is just so fucking great that I can't do it. I'll put it off for tomorrow or something. So the kind of state that you're in, like I am really aware of it because I've gone through my ups and downs, but I have that same kind of, sometimes I'm kind of almost, I don't want to offend you in any way, but it's almost like you're manic. There's a manicness to it when you're so
mm,
full of energy that it's like I watched that podcast that you did, the last one that you did with the four people, and every time you spoke,
yeah.
it was like if I could see an aura, your aura was so much brighter than the other three people on the screen because you were like bursting out of yourself. It's almost like your brain is going at so many different directions at the one time that you know you almost can't contain yourself, and you have this energy. And when I before we recorded this podcast, while you're at the gym, probably offloading some of this energy, I did a bit of I did a bit of research on you,
Fucking
and
hell.
a couple of these old interviews with you, even dating back to like 10 years ago and stuff. A few people use the word like infectious, like your energy is infectious, and how positive you are and stuff like that. So it seems like you've been like this for a long time.
Oh man, you can't. Yeah, you can't look straight up. Fuck being anybody else. Like people say this shit. Like if you're at home and you're thinking like what you just said, Justin, that you know that I'm fucking bursting at seams and I'm infectious and all sort of shit. Like, okay, like sure, right? And firstly, thank you for the compliment. I truly appreciate it.
That's cool.
But moreover, man, I can't fucking be anybody else. I just
Exactly,
can't.
right?
And secondly, I fucking refuse to be because man, the odds that I'm here, like man, I think I'm gonna fucking totally fucking lose it tomorrow or Saturday because like
Yeah, the
being
DMT
able to
tomorrow.
understand some, yeah, man, like because like man, I have incredible thoughts that I'm like I said this on another podcast recently. I was listening to a podcast and I was driving north and it cut out. And I was like, well, because I've been going fishing up north, I can't
Okay,
fish, but I've been going fishing on the Great Barrier Reef and diving and surfing and just doing these like 8 hours drive, like hours and hours north, and just doing a 2-day holiday midweek just because COVID sucks, dead dogs nuts. That's a
right.
nice quote from my favorite cafe. And a psychologist said on the radio, average person has 1,000 negative thoughts a day. And
Mm.
I personally have 1,000 positive thoughts a day. I'm like,
Yeah.
go get him, big dog. You know, like hashtag big dog. Go big dog. Run up the hill, big dog. Lift weights, big dog. Lose that fat guts, big dog. Eat
Is that
healthier,
like
big dog.
a little voice in your head that's like whenever you've got the kind of like the red pill, blue pill, you're always going to take the positive rather than the negative? Like you don't focus on the negatives whatsoever?
No, no, no. I accept both. I look
Mm.
at both and I acknowledge both because you can't completely live with your head in the sand. Like you can't go through life going, I'm fucking awesome and literally just be a fucking dumb cunt your whole life. If you're going to be awesome, that needs to come from a beautiful place where you're you're calling your mum once a week and telling her that you love her. And it's not because it's the right thing to do. It's because you've actually gone out of your way to build a beautiful fucking relationship with this human being, to show her all the appreciation you have for giving you all the things that you've got today, be it a lot or a little. Because, man, when you tune into, or I believe that when you tune into the small gifts of earth and being alive, including being born, like, just think about how many fucking times you've just fucking had a wank. And then what happens if instead of having a wank, you were to create like a child with your partner, with that fucking, does that mean that you brought somebody into the earth that wouldn't have otherwise been born? And in that case, does that mean that being born and being conceived is like the ultimate lottery? Like, man, that's just enough for me to be just fucking absolutely chiefed. So based on a theory that's completely unfounded, I walk around every day thinking it's a gift. And there's that saying, like, today's a gift. That's why it's called the present.
You're a tripper, man, because it's like, I think
I'm a massive tripper.
You're a tripper, but there's a big difference between, like, I really try not to mention any names, but I'm on Facebook quite a bit because it I'm still using the platform as a way to get my stuff. Yeah, but the sad thing is, like, I see a whole lot of loud people who are trippers, but they're not doing anything. Like, they're posting some positive quotes, and they're all these funny JPEGs with all flowers and shit and whatever, and they're saying some decent things, but there's almost nothing to back it up, and it almost looks like these guys are going to commit suicide next week, because it's like, are you really that happy, or are you posting this stuff to try to be happy? And I see a lot of people who are trying to be awake, or maybe what it is that in trying to be so positive, I can see how unhappy some people really are. It's really weird.
Oh man, and this comes back to like fake. This is faking, man. This is, and this isn't a term that I've read in any book, but like, man. All right, so two perspectives. You've got this perspective, right? You've got somebody who is faking putting awesome. Well, all right, let's take it here, right. Let's just talk about energy, and I know fucking nothing about energy except I've got it. That's all I know. I've got fucking energy for days, right?
Yep.
Someone can put a post out there and it can say something that someone famous once said that moves you, right?
Right.
Now, let me ask you a question. When somebody is potentially being fake and posts something like that, and it doesn't move you, I would question that it's not what was written or what was posted. It was the intention behind the post. It was the intention behind the words of the person that put it up there. So if they're putting it up there in a fake state, you're going to get a fake feel out of it. Man, when I'm there and I'm like really like channeling inwards, and I'm like, all right, it's time to let everyone know what I've been up to. And I'm like, like, what's up, fam? Fucking Matt here.
Yep.
I miss you guys, and I haven't been writing to you very often. I hope you've been well. Big things happening behind the scene. COVID's got me shitting myself, but we've done this, we've done that, and fucking if that wasn't the fucking end of the world, we have to postpone the event again. Fucking heartbreaker. But when this shit's over, fucking I'll be there for you. I'll be there to be able to fucking shake your hand to thank you at the end of the event. And please have full faith in me that I'm going to do this, that, and the other, because I really respect the energy that you give me, and I hope to multiply it and give it back. Big ups on the world. Love and thanks, Matt. And then fucking boom comment, boom comment, boom comment, boom comment. Hundreds of comments. But then other times when I'm really not in that state, in that mind, I'd be like, big ups to everyone who's having mad week. Been thinking about ya. To all my mates out there, fucking keep ripping. I got your back. Doors open. Hit me up. And I'd be like, love you, Matty. Yeah, bud. Just because like sometimes like I'm just putting it out there because I'm having a good day and I want to share my good day with you. Yep. But other times I'm like, man, I'm fucking I'm not
Yeah.
hurting, but man, I'm being pushed, man. I'm being pushed, and I don't know
Yeah.
how to fucking get out of this. And the level of personal growth is so fucking heavy that all I can do is tell you guys how fucking I couldn't do it without yous. And you're fucking driving me onwards and upwards. And then there's the responsibility and the burden for delivering on all these things that I want to do. And
Yeah.
that's why before I said it's the fear. It's the fear that drives me. So I look at fear and I'm like, let's fucking bro down. Let's do it. Come on,
Yeah.
motherfucker. Let's get in. And fear can put me down, man. Put me down. But I'll get back up a stronger man or a stronger human, you know? So, like, at the end of the day, man, like, you also spoke about ego. Like, I got voted the most egotistical person at high school, and I'm just like, get the fuck out of here. Like, honestly, like, get the fuck
That's all
out.
right
Because,
though, man. At that age, that's
yeah,
good at that age.
bro,
It's normal.
bro, I wasn't cool, man. I was fucking not cool. But the thing was, I was going to my own beat even back then. Like,
Mm,
they're like, you know, people probably thinking, this cunt's tripping. He
yeah.
thinks he's going to be a baseball star. And it's like,
Yeah.
fuck you. I don't want to
Yeah.
be a baseball star. I want to go to America and make so much fucking Skrilla that I can come back and buy a fucking dope house in a dope neighborhood and pay off all my mates' fucking houses so they can live on my dope street because it's literally going to be called fucking Haynesville Road. I'll buy the fucking neighborhood and all me and my homies and all our kids and our wives will fucking start a school. Like, I'll be the principal, fucking blokey can be the fucking surfboard shaper. You know, we can have the fucking maths done by someone different. We'll homeschool the whole community. It will literally end up like, man, fuck it, I'll start a cult, and our
Yeah.
cult will be the fucking cult of happy.
Oh,
And you
dude, I've
just
always wanted to start a cult.
like, life's a cult, bro. Life is a fucking cult. Like I get lost. So, but to circle back, to go back to the post about the energy,
Mm.
man, if someone's feeling down and they've posted it, on this hand, you can look at them and go, you're a fake cunt, fuck this, that, and the other. But on this hand, you can go, hey, man, just checking in with you.
Yeah.
If you ever need someone to talk to, hit a brother up because, man, I realize life's not easy. And if you're fucking doing it tough or whatever, I got you back. Because I think one of the places where I drew a lot of energy from was by acknowledging gifts that have been given to me, like emotional and spiritual gifts, where I had a dream where and without sort of being in a position or at an age to actualize it, where it's like being 8 or 10, for example, and wanting to be a pro baseball player, but someone like my grandfather or even my dad, they took me to sport. And they were like spiritual and emotional, and being able to realize that and go, oh, thank you. That being able to sort of go, oh, there, or that's kind of where my powers come from. And then the secondary sort of aura, that power comes from it going, okay, how good does it feel to receive that fucking spiritual and emotional gift?
Support. Yeah.
But you should see what it feels like to give one away, man. Oh my God. Like, I'm fucking like covered in goosebumps right now. Because when you fucking love someone and you love, or you've got so much time for them or whatever, and you're just like, man, I'm giving you this gift, whether it's physical, emotional, spiritual gift, and you give them over this gift. Someone who really, truly gets you and appreciates you, they see that it's not what you're giving them. It's like a gift of like acknowledgement, a gift of love. And then it's like something that they get to appreciate every day. It's something they get to appreciate in their mind. It's something. Yeah, so it's something that it's like a gift, and they get to, like, if you give someone an extraordinary gift and they look at it like maybe just think about an extraordinary gift, like the best thing you've ever been given. Think about how that made you feel, and then imagine giving that feeling to somebody else, man. If you think it feels good to be given something, like it's infinitely greater.
Yeah.
No, if you feel good to receive, it's infinitely greater to give it away. So every year while people are receiving TDC,
Yeah.
I'm just there just going, oh, fuck yeah. And then people then in return go, that was fucking wonderful. Thank you so much. That was an incredible experience. Thank you so much. And I feel in those posts, because I literally say to the crowd, like, oi, like, because man, I'm also insecure. I also don't have all the answers. I also am still growing as a
Of
human
course.
being.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And I literally go to the audience, hey guys, like I know we're having a lot of fun and I'm up here, closing down the event and y'all haven't seen me for 3 days because all the hosts are so much better than me. And when I get on the mic, I'm just fucking absolute fucking nuclear bomb of just symphony of fucking words. I wind up the event and I'm sort of saying, like, please, like as a favor to me, please give me a review. Now, I bet you there's someone in the audience going, oh, this cunt just wants to fucking go and stroke his ego. But no, not at all. I would be honored to receive your review, but seriously, I just want other people out there to know how fucking good it is from your honest fucking review
Yeah, sure.
because I don't want to play my own fucking trumpet, man. Like, I want someone else to go, look, as a young creative, go to this thing. It'll change your fucking life if you open yourself up for it. And so we've never marketed, we've never done any of that because I don't want the first 700 people coming to my event. I want my event to be as lean and as affordable as possible, and I want the right 700 people to go there. And I want
That's
to
it.
build a tribe. I want to build a tribe of people who are hungry to change the world. And then, man, I'd love to be like Mills and Sinks from Us Too in London, who are now all over the world. They've started their thing called the Fampany. So the Fampany is about investing in the ideas that the people in their company are coming up with through doing consultation, high-end creative, and being exposed to the sort of technologies and the emerging technologies that they work with on a daily basis. So like basically like, and I watch their podcast quite a lot. They're doing some really cool stuff. Like 1-800 Talk Your Time is pretty fucking on point. And the one thing that blew my mind that Sink said, he goes, do you know how fucking hard it is to give a quote when you're us and like what we do? Because this job that we're going to embark on for what this person wants, the technologies will be different by the time it comes to deliver it. And there's every fucking chance it'll be redundant. So they can barely, he's saying something along the lines of, you can barely give a fucking quote. That's fucking mind blowing, right? And these guys are changing the world. So, yeah, I just big massive shout out to Mills. Like that guy, he's self-confessed ADD. All my mates say I've got ADD.
Oh man, yeah, we all have it. We all have it, bro. Like, but it's
yeah, I'm
interesting.
just saying,
You
like
touched on a
that
few
guy's a
points there,
fucking
man. Like,
trip, man. Way
well,
too many. Sorry.
well, no, you touched on a few points. Yeah, a lot of points. Like, I feel like I wrote an article a week ago about I looked back on all those years, 20 years that I spent in advertising, and I sat there for 1 second that morning and realized, even though I put so much passion and energy into all of that, and I'm proud of what I've done, I look at it now and like,
100%.
why the fuck did I spend so many years in advertising when 100% of the world hates ads? They hate ads. People hate ads. People
Oh
hate
man.
advertising. So I just
Well,
shat
no,
my pants one morning and I wrote this article, and like just touching on a point
like
that you
on
said,
Medium or something.
yeah, I wrote it on Medium and I put it up on Facebook, and it was interesting. Obviously some of the, I mean, a lot of people don't want to
Yeah,
bite sometimes
make
because
sure
I'm
you
not.
put it in the aftermath of
Oh
this
yeah,
because
yeah,
I'd like
sure,
to
sure,
read it.
sure. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like I'm in a much more positive state now after being through so much shit. Like I think my whole life has been easy for me because I came to the realization that there's only one thing that I'm good at, and that's inspiring other people. So I'm just gonna do that. Like
Sure,
for so much of
sure.
my life, it was just that. But now at 45 and going through like a
You
really
are.
low point in my life, now it's like I've realized, fuck, there's so many more levels to this shit. So what you said earlier about how that person that's maybe faking it on Facebook, and then like there's always the negative and the positive, right? So part of me is like, oh, I want to fucking go in there and hammer him for this shit because it's fake. And then,
Yeah.
like you suggested, there's the other bit, which is fucking turn it around, Justin. You can message him and say that, dude, are you all right? Like, I can feel
Yeah.
something's
Yeah.
not right here, right? So I am still at this age very much in the middle lane, and I could fall either way. So I can hop on the negative. Maybe if I've had a
Yeah,
few to
man.
drink, I might, go there and I'll have a good time being negative, but not overly negative, still constructive. But if I've had a few wines, I might go there. But you're 100% right in, when I was down in the hole a couple of years ago, I lost all my mates because they just thought I'd lost it, and they couldn't
Yeah.
they couldn't deal, man. As much as love as they had for me, they had the love for me when I'm on my 2 feet, but when I fell down, they were like, "Fuck, this is too much."
Yeah.
And
I mean, and that's why every day is an opportunity to sort of renew your love with your mates. Like, man, like
mm,
just for shits and gigs, like
mm.
even like maybe not for a client, but I'll be like, fuck it, like be like, all right, mate, love ya.
Just to
At
see
the
the
end of a
reaction,
conversation.
yeah.
Yeah, no, we're dealing with a fucking blue chip stock at the moment. I don't want to say who. We're just dealing with a big
Yeah.
Australian company at the moment, and be on the phone and be like, oh yeah. Cheers, Scott. All right, mate. Well, I'll put that proposal together for you, and let's kick some goals together, mate. Really looking forward to it. All right, mate. All right, love ya.
And,
Just, and then sometimes you get a love you too.
and you're like, gotcha.
You know that they're on the other line going, what the fuck did I just say?
But
Because
that's
like
so
when
you too, right? That's so you as well. That's the
oh
thing.
man,
Like,
you have to, man. Like that's a small pleasure that has absolutely no downside. Do you know what I mean? That has no
totally.
downside. So like, because I'll be like to my homies, I'll be at Matt, especially like my real close, like my mates that are down with like talking about deep shit because I love deep shit. We're talking
Same.
and I'll be like, all right, bro. Well, I'll be like, so every Tuesday night, I've moved up into the hills. So I live up in the hills now. And so all my mates are an hour away. So on Tuesday nights, I play basketball. And on Tuesday nights, I zip down to Budrum, which is like on the coast, and I played basketball with a couple of my good mates. And unfortunately, one of my best mates moved to Brizzy. He doesn't make the trip anymore. But then I stay in Maroochydore at my mate's house. So like we had this big family sort of row. I'm in a poly relationship, so there's three of us.
Okay.
So there's other Justin, not you, myself, and Romana. And so we just all me and Justin are dating the same bird, have been for basically the last 4 years. We all live together now. Oh man, it just is what it is. Like, put it this way: I get Tuesday nights and I can hang out with my mates, and I know my babe's got someone looking after her. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just like fucking happy days.
It doesn't surprise me because of how you carry yourself. You're far from normal. You're far from
Man, these are
normal.
just the social constructs.
But that's the thing. Like you're just so far from normal that I wouldn't expect anything for you to fit in anywhere so comfortably and easily. Like that's the thing. Like I said, like when I saw that podcast and I could just see your energy, I'm like, fuck, I got to get this guy on a podcast because you and I, we've known each other for so long, we've never had a conversation like this.
Well, man, this is part and parcel of like us being on two different journeys, and like I mean, like I put it to you right now, right? There's designers out there that think conferences are for fucking weak-minded wankers that have no idea about design or no idea about what's hot right now.
You mean professional designers or
people who are. Yeah. You can't just have an opinion like that and unfounded. I mean, like a pseudo-founded opinion that conferences are for followers and not leaders. Do you know what I mean?
Man, if you ask them to be in your conference, they'd be jumping at the bit to say yes. That's the thing. That's the sad thing about it.
That's why I made the podcast, because like, man, how the fuck am I meant to have somebody on my cast that I've never fucking hung out with? Like, it's like,
you know what I loved that you said on that.
Is, oh, mate.
You said on that podcast, one really nice bit was, you said for so many years you've looked at it as your thing, but now it's like fuck, it's you want
Yeah,
to it's everyone's thing. And dude, I've always
it
felt that
is.
way. Like I've always felt when you run a community, it's kind of sad how some people look to you as the leader or the owner, but I'm like, I've always found that the more you give and the more you let people use it as a platform and have a voice through it, and pretend like that your business is their business and start to treat it like that, that's kind of where you want to be. I find that that's
Well, man, I think emotionally and spiritually, you go through ebbs and flows. Like, man, I do not know the fucking answers. Like
mm,
early TDC, early analog digital, man, I'm literally going, man, I have no fucking idea what they're talking about right now. So just I'm paying attention, like literally paying attention. And as I've gotten to have, see, the best part for TDC for me specifically is I get to do these one-on-ones with these incredible creatives. Like that's the
that's it,
part that
hey.
I enjoyed most. So like I outgrew my former self, and then I changed, and so conference changed. So the themes, if you'd been to design conference for the last 10 years, and there's a few people that have, well, design conference, analog digital, but if you'd been to the events that I've been putting on for the last 10 years, there's something that you'll know that you probably picked up on, and that is it answers and discusses all the friction points and life lessons that I've undergone over the last year. So when I'm going, oh, motherfucker, COVID, what do I
mm,
do?
mm,
Like, it's not that I want to talk about COVID at design conference. Like, fuck that. We're just going to celebrate the end of COVID at the conference. But
mm.
I need to show the community that I'm not sitting here on my laurels,
Yep.
fucking waiting for COVID to finish so I can, rinse and repeat. Like that's like an immature approach. It's like it's not on brand for design conference. I need to do a podcast, and man, I I I've been wanting to do it for a long time, and the truth is, I
Yep.
was too scared to. I was too
Really?
scared yeah, fuck yeah, bro. I was way too scared to do it because I know I can talk about what I want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth is, man, I'm insecure listening because I do have ADD or I have something along the lines of ADD, and I get sidetracked like in my mind, like and I'll be thinking, oh yeah, yeah, cool. I've got a question. I know how to lead this conversation. All right, real cool. And then they answer my question, and then I just get a cold rush, like I've just done something really naughty. I'm like, oh my god, what am I going to talk about now? And if you go back and watch that podcast, man, I'm literally tripping. Like I'm
Yeah.
tripping. I'm like, I'm
But
looking at myself
but
and
you do listen though, because you've said multiple times
uh,
in this podcast that you listen to a lot of podcasts. So like some people I'll put up a podcast, and before anyone's even, because like I can see when it's gone live, it's literally gone live 23 seconds ago, and the comments will start coming in, and people are like, oh, 2 hours, brah. Like they can't believe that they have to sit through a 2 hours podcast. And I'm like, bro, it's like
oh
some
man,
people can, some people can't. And it's not like, maybe clean your kitchen while you're listening to it, or work on your car or something. But like, you know, the attention span is so short out there, man. It really, really is. And it takes a special person almost these days. Like you're considered special for sitting through something that's 2 hours long. But the people that do are the ones that send you the feedback and say, my God, like there were some really good bits in that. Thank you so much. Like
yeah,
there's
and
juicy little bits in there
fuck the
that
haters, man.
yeah, I wouldn't call them haters necessarily, but I just think it's like people are a little bit quick
It's
to.
non-critical feedback.
Well, yeah. And like it's a shame, because like we're not doing these things that are we're gonna cut out like a movie trailer. We're gonna cut out all the best bits, and put it all into 30 seconds, so
Oh
you're like,
man,
oh, there you go.
fuck.
You know what I
Fuck.
mean? But
Like, man, and so that's why we did a video podcast and a full-blown
mm,
live stream
that's
because,
right, yeah.
man, I wanted people to see that, and I needed to sort of for my own self, and maybe this is what ego is, but this is like sort of tying back into that fear. I needed to know that there was no out. I needed to know that there was articulation, attention, critical thinking,
Mm-hmm.
feedback, and focus required in order to maintain that conversation. Or
Yep.
else, if there was a way out, but I reckon I probably would have taken advantage of it. Do you know what I mean? It'd be like, way out. We just cut that shit out. And it'd be like, oh yeah, no, I'll just insert a break there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it just
Yeah.
goes
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just cuts. And then we put a break in, and then it comes back to the thing, and I could put an advert in there and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Because and just real quickly, man, just about adverts, like, and you spoke earlier about advertising. I also agree. Advertising fucking sucks. I hate people that try and manipulate you and try and force something upon
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And I think good brands speak for themselves. I really
Mm-hmm.
do. Or good brands have people speak for you, which is fucking the best.
Yeah.
And
Word of mouth. Yeah. Old school.
yeah, but like we've never invested in advertising, whatever. But as far as sponsorship goes, man, like
Mm.
all our sponsors at Design Conference at TDC, massive shout to them. Hey, like
Yeah,
they know
I
who
heard
they
your,
are. Oh,
I heard your shout, man. They've been with you the whole fucking time, and that means something,
a
you
lot of
know.
them have been,
Yeah,
dude. Like
yeah, I get
I
that. I
look
get
at them
that.
in the eye and say, I need more money, and they're just
Yeah,
like, how much? And
yeah.
then we always in negotiation. But mate, I've never had a contract with a speaker. I've never had a contract with a fucking sponsor.
I get you.
Like
It's a
that's
grassroots.
on me.
It's yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
it's a real grassroots way of working, and I really appreciate that, man, because I'm the same
it's
way.
an
Like I said,
immature
you
way.
know, yeah, no,
It's image. Like I
it's
have to
but it,
go to the next level. I
yeah,
just
it's
do. I have.
potentially dangerous too. Like it is potentially dangerous to do it grassroots. But I'm still very firmly in grassroots. Like I'm a full-time photographer now. I shoot a lot of models, and I don't have
Yeah, I've seen
those
that.
forms.
Tell me
I
about
don't.
that.
No, well, it's just it's for me. Like at the time when I had no energy the last couple of years, I definitely didn't have the energy to do any commercial work because you know what that's like. Like commercial work is it just
I
fucks
haven't
your
had a job ever.
creativity. Well, just I just it's almost like what you said really early on in the podcast about listening to some of this music that you haven't listened to in ages, and you're almost tearing up. I've been
Mm.
doing the same thing, man. I've been going back to my roots. I used to be in a rock band, so I've been listening to heaps of Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, and tearing up. And
Oh
sometimes
wow,
I'll sit on the couch and just fucking start bawling and stuff. And I've just realized like
that's
going
healthy,
back to
man.
my it,
I'm
well,
not. I'm
right.
not. I don't. I've got too much pride to cry, man. I've got too much. I've got too much.
Dude,
I'm
we
too scared to cry. Like
a lot of us guys
I
do.
don't have the strength to fucking let real tears come out.
Dude, a
It's
lot of us
so
guys
hard for
do,
me,
man.
man. Like, man, I can tell. I've
But
cried once since I was a kid, and when
yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
grandfather, like,
I
I've
was just
kind of had, I've been upset,
yeah,
but I've had like a
but
stage 5 fucking emotional meltdown when my grandfather passed away,
right,
and
and
man,
you've
like,
never had
oh,
anything
it
since.
it felt so good to cry. It felt like I was, well, no,
Yeah,
it felt like I was crying for 1,000 things, but it was the
yeah,
straw that broke the camel's back. But that
yeah.
straw was so fucking incredibly big that it
Uh-huh.
would have just, it was enough on its own. So I was like crying for 1,000 things at once. And it's not like I push things down, but maybe I do.
I think you
I
do,
don't
man. I
know. I
think
couldn't
look,
begin to explain
I have the exact
what
same
that feels
situation.
like.
My dad passed away when I was 18, and I
Okay,
cried so hard that like
that's
I had
hard.
snot running out of my nose just as much as I was crying, and like it was just ridiculous, right? I've
Oh, for
never
sure.
had the full body crying experience, and I've never cried again since 2 years
Yeah.
ago when I started to go into this hole. I was smoking an ounce of marijuana a week. I wasn't even going to the toilet, man. I was pissing in like empty Mountain Dew bottles and shit because I couldn't be bothered to go to the toilet. Like I just went
Yeah,
there
that's
and
dark.
I was just it was a really bad place. And like I said, I was listening to this music every day and putting it on repeat and just bawling my eyes out. And mates would come over and I'd like, dude, you got to watch this clip of like, you know, Led Zeppelin or whatever. And I'd put it on and I'd just start bawling. And my mates would be like, whoa, bro, like that. I was just scaring people away, you know, but I hadn't cried since I was 18. So it was so cathartic. It was just letting this shit out, and it wasn't healthy. You know, I was like, you're not meant to be in this place of being so attached to your emotions. And like coming out of it now, like this podcast has been great because it's like a couple of the topics that you brought up, especially the one about like how to deal with fakers, and it's your decision to be positive or negative, and little things like that. It's like you've talked about purpose and purpose in life in some of your older interviews and stuff like that. Usually when I hear someone talking about purpose, I think of those shitty YouTube videos that are set to an orchestra kind of soundtrack, and it's like, you know, this is the meaning of life kind of in 3 minutes. You know, it's almost like what we are talking about a second ago with like all the best bits put into a 3-minute video that's going to change your life. I'm like, fuck that shit, right? Watching this is it's like they're getting people who are lost addicted to watching these 3-minute videos every single day in order to get through the day.
Oh,
You know,
it's like emotional advertising. It's like stage one. They're taking what you've learnt in advertising, and they're basic, like, from if you're talking about the same thing as what I'm thinking about, it's like, you know, like there's a fucking basic way to capture people who, I don't know, maybe they're basic people, like maybe they're not, haven't thought about things deep enough. Like I admit that, like, you know, well, I feel like, you know, there are people out there that aren't thinking about the depths of their actions, and they are like not simple, like they could be super smart, but like, you know, oh fuck, I don't even know how to explain this without sounding like a complete fuckwit.
No. What I know exactly what you're saying. You're sort of saying, well,
you know, like
there's
they're
every type of
trapped.
person out there, but there's every type of person though. It's like you said it earlier in the podcast, like you were that guy in that team that might not have been the best out on the field, but then you did all this other stuff that the people out in the field weren't doing behind the scenes. So you said it then. It's like there is every type of person. There is every type of job on this planet, whether it's taking out the trash like garbage man or whatever. There's definitely a position for everybody to sit comfortably in if you want that. So I don't think you're being offensive in any way, you know.
Oh no, I'm not.
It's
Yeah, I
not for
don't think I'm being
everybody.
offensive. I just think I look a little bit fucking simple. But like, I suppose we I just watched the Attenborough documentary on Netflix, and basically he's doing a documentary about all the major documentaries he's done, and he speaks about how he's seen the world, and he's seen the world change. Like, he's been everywhere. Like, he's probably one of the top 100 most traveled people and most informed environmentalists in the world. And he's saying, like, basically, like, listen to me when I say this. Like, I'm not saying this is Matt Haynes. I'm being David Orange. Like, listen to me when I say this.
Yeah.
This is undebatable.
Yeah.
We are on a one-track way to the north and south caps melting, allowing the permafrost in the ground to become not frozen, to thaw for the first time ever, which will release so much methane into the atmosphere that it'll increase the rate in which the greenhouse heats by 400%. Now, we're doing that by putting carbon into the atmosphere. Now, when that happens and we increase because he says that the global temperature has risen by 1 degree. He said that it'll be 5 degrees. So that, like, after that, we're fucked, like proper fucked. Like look at what a reef, like a barrier reef, like an ocean reef looked like before the temperatures came up a little bit, because like all the colors, from what I understood from the documentary, are algae growing on the coral. It's like a little ecosystem, right? The algae die, the water's too warm, and they all turn white. They bleach. Yeah, and then they die.
It's absolutely fucked. Like, even the last 10 years, it's you can see it. It's gone, and a lot of, because I have a background in keeping marine aquariums, and people have been talking about it for years, man. Like, just people are literally planting corals, trying to make a change that way, and At least with the aquarium trade, it's really frowned upon now to take corals and fish out of the ocean for your viewing pleasure at home. Like now it's about
Oh,
like,
it's super
especially,
selfish.
dude, even after like Finding Nemo, scientists and stuff, people in labs were going crazy trying to breed clownfish in the aquarium, because everyone in the US, especially, were going out buying clownfish and just killing them within a week because they had no skills to
Wow.
keep marine fish. So clownfish are
Wow.
one of the few fish now that are born and bred in
Endangered.
aquariums, and yeah, hardly anyone's taking them from the wild anymore. But yeah, it's a thing, man.
They're
It's
beautiful.
it's
They're
it.
beautiful to see their wild with the anemone.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. And that whole, the sad thing about David Attenborough or the whole Black Lives Matter movement or any of this stuff is like, we're living in this digital age where people get political for the day. Someone will post a David
Mm.
Attenborough post on their social media because they've just watched it. They watched the Netflix. They've hopped on social media and gone, here's what I think, and then that's it. Tick
Yeah.
tick the box, and there's like it's not an ongoing thing, like you running these design conferences for over 10 years. It's nothing like that. it,
Yeah.
it
Oh,
it's
like
it's it, it,
again,
it,
like
it's
on one hand,
mm,
it like he does the video, right, and like it speaks into a place where, like we said before, you've got people who have a depth of understanding of what is going on, whether it's through firsthand, whether it's through secondhand or third-hand experiences where, saying Black Lives Matter, you feel intimidated by white police and you're just like, fuck this shit. Or secondhand, you've got a friend who's
right.
been like, man, the fucking cops keep pulling me over and fucking doing this and doing that, no fucking reason. It's like fucking harassment, bro. I'm telling you, it's harassment. And you're like, fuck, man, that's fucking brutal. And then you've got tertiary where that person goes, man, you'd never believe it, but the police pull over my mate all the fucking time just because he's black. And it's like, bullshit, that's not true. Why don't they pull me over? So you've got like people in all these different areas, right?
Mm,
What we need to come to a sort of a situation is that, like, well, fuck, man, I don't even know where to approach this topic, but for starters, the sensationalism of the fucking media
yep.
is like, they can go fuck themselves.
Yeah,
Because when this shit, Black Lives Matter, like what's happening to these black people in America, it looks like sensationalized media, because that's how
dude.
fucking outrageous
Yeah,
the other non-important, like not other non the non-important shit that they fucking fill the newspapers and the TV with every day in order
yeah.
to put advertising between. It's just rubbish. And then when real shit happens, like, it's just kind of like, it's fucking, for me personally,
Mm,
man, I was so overwhelmed. I was just
yeah.
like, man, this is so fucking sad. Like, this
Mm,
is actually so sad. And the thing that I was thinking was like, come on, like, Matt, like, try and relate. Like, how do you relate?
mm,
Oh, fuck, I live on the Sunshine Coast. When have I felt scared? And I'm trying to like look inwards and I'm like, fuck, man, all right, how can I empathize here? And man, what this is, there's people probably, I don't know if people think I'm a fuckhead or not, but I'll say it anyways. It came down to me thinking this. When I've got a friend over, if we're having a dinner party or something, and if I had a female friend of mine come over and we're all hanging out, she's like, all right, guys, I'm on a cruise, and say she had a couple of drinks, but it's not quite an Uber distance,
mm,
but it's a walking distance.
mm,
I'm like, I was like, all right, how are you getting home? Oh, just walk. All right, well, I'll walk with you, because I'm not scared of
mm,
fucking being jumped. But
mm,
I couldn't live with myself if someone jumped my female friend walking home who can't defend herself. And
mm,
in that way, I feel that in my heart. And I'm like, all right, now I've taken that feeling and put it into, I assume, or I feel like, after seeing what's happening on television, the fucking brutal racism, systemic racism,
mm.
that's how I feel black people feel all the fucking time.
Right.
And that is not good enough for the human race. That's
Mm,
unacceptable.
mm,
And so, if we do a post about it, whatevs. But like, I sat there and we had at length discussions about how design conference can participate.
right.
So
Okay.
where I've gotten to is that, first and foremost, I want to become a B Corp. I truly believe that companies need to, on all fronts, represent to the fullest. They need to represent the environment, they need to represent humanity, and they need to represent a product that helps tomorrow. A better tomorrow comes sooner. And I will get to a point where I'll only work with B corporations. I'll only shop with B corporations. I'll only feature creatives that are in that area. That's our whole Orb Awards, the thing that we've done. Haven't done too much, like spoken too much about it, but it's very much designed around the B corporations. It's about looking after the people who you put under your wings and doing it honestly. It's about being open with your profits. It's about, how do you invest? How do you do this? How do you do that? How do you represent
It's the
your brand?
transparency, isn't it? I mean, it's come to the fore in the last 5 years or so that like, I mean, you touched a second ago on media, and media's fucked. Media's gone the other way. Media has gone completely away from transparency towards
They've gone
being
fucking psycho, bro. They've lost their fucking reality.
well, it's gotten so bad that it's not the news anymore, and it's an opinion piece, and it's very much one-sided, not two-sided, or they're not sitting in the middle at all. They're sitting on one side or the other.
It's an entire fucking channel. Like, you can tune into a channel and it has an opinion. Like,
yeah,
man, I don't watch television.
No, you can't.
I don't watch television.
You can't. But the sad thing is that we have to dig. Like, I find my news intake every day is to watch both the shitty sides. I just watch all of it, and I have to sit there and decide for myself. But I won't get there from watching one channel like I used to. Like SBS, ABC were a-okay when I was growing up. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, when I was growing up, they were okay. But like, just yesterday, I saw an anti-Trump video on ABC, and they put like hilarious Spanish music in the background and dodgy special effects over the video. And I'm like, this is ABC. Like, I couldn't help myself. It's one of those moments where, like you mentioned, I could go this way, negative, or I could go positive. But I couldn't help myself.
You felt that they were failing their brand.
Oh, absolutely. And I just hopped in the comments and I wrote something like, you were cool once, ABC. And like, now that comment's getting likes from people. And I didn't mean to troll, but that's a troll. Like, I trolled,
Oh, for sure.
And like, I could have said something way more constructive. I could have said nothing at all. But sometimes it's just so upsetting that I'm like, well, I'm not about to waste my energy in trying to change this channel. I just can't. It's like, it's gotten so bad that like, okay, well, fuck. ABC to me was this once upon a time, and now it's sad to see them go in this direction, but hey, I can't change that. So, it's almost like the David Attenborough thing. It's like there's like, if I watch that documentary, I know that I'm going to be in the pocket with him. I know I'm going to completely agree with him, and I'm going to feel very emotional, but it's almost like there's so much emotion that I can give. And right now I can't chain myself up to bulldozers, to trees and bulldozers. And I can't do that. Like, I'm so fucking glad that there are people that do, like, more than ever, where once upon a time I would think like the Greenpeace.
Well, I mean, that's their crazy,
Right. Exactly. And they're just like how you're putting everything into, TDC and this community that you're building. It's not to say that you don't have emotions and real feelings about other things, but man, we can only split ourselves so much, between what
the
matters
way
and
I
what
saw
doesn't
it,
matter.
Like, early days, design conference / analog digital was overcoming an issue that was about how does a student creative bridge into the industry. I mean, that was my fucking world, man. How do you get a fucking job?
Yeah, I love
then it was like, okay, as a student creative, as a young creative, how do we discover the path between coming like a sunny day illustrator or a multidisciplinary creative director, art director type? Okay, that's all good. Then it moved into kind of like, okay, well, now that we're all have done that, now, all right, now let's talk about the ethics of our work. the
Yep.
people that we work for? Do we turn down sports bet? Fucking forgive me. Turn down betting people. Do we turn down gambling? Do we turn down big tobacco? Do we turn down
Yep.
guns and just the big fuck offs? And now it's become, man, through Black Lives Matter, for me, it's about TDC. It's about for all Australians because, man, I have traveled a little bit, but I'm a little bit disappointed that as Australia, as a country, we've not embraced First Nation Australian culture. And as a result, we are less than because through that level of spirituality, through that level of love for the land, through that level of, because fuck, man, Indigenous Australians, First Nation Australians cared for our fucking planet in ways that the white fucking folks don't do it. And they're
their
continually
values are
showing,
still, they
but they're
have more
still
value
showing
in it than we do. Yeah.
disrespect on a fucking daily basis.
Every day.
Just
Yeah.
fucking this week, the
Yeah.
Victorian
The
government
tree.
has gone
Yeah.
and planning a highway through sacred
Yeah. I
First
saw that.
Nation Australian Aboriginal territory. I
I saw
mean,
that. Yeah.
where does the fucking buck stop? Like honestly, stop. When you go to New Zealand, right, and you see the fucking Kiwis and they do the fucking haka and they're fucking, you're just like, how's that fucking, like, man, I got gooses again. But how's that fucking power? How's that power? That's fucking power. That's humanity saying fuck you to everything that's shit.
Yeah,
Fuck
but it's
you.
tradition, and it's like it's such an art,
It's
man.
honest tradition. It is. It's honest tradition. It's an
Yeah.
honest art. And it comes from the most purest forms of family and love and being connected. Like they talk about being connected as one of the most important ways to avoid depression, because depression is a lack of connectedness.
But dude, don't you think on the bigger picture as well? Don't you look at it as simply as an unresolved issue? Like I look at, like, if you live a life where you've got some unresolved issues with family, just some shit that's like, when you think about it, you feel sad, right? An unresolved issue. If you go to the grave with that shit, man, like, it's gonna make you older. It's gonna make you depressed.
But,
it's like,
but one thing,
you're
feel
missing
like
out
an unresolved
one key
issue. Thing there. It's not about going to grave with an unresolved issue. Unresolved issue will send you to the fucking grave, bro. Unresolved issue will make you stress out, will make you grow cancer, will fucking make you grow. Kill you.
Exactly.
Like, that will fuck you up.
I just feel like, back on our Indigenous culture, it's like, I just feel like ever since I was a little kid in this country, it's never been resolved, and we got close to one point where,
would say,
but
I would say that we've never had white leaders express to us the importance of First Nation Australian culture, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders. Now, the reason why it's important is because Australia belongs to to Aboriginals and Torres Strait Islanders. This is basically Aboriginal land. Well, not basically, it is.
It is.
So there is a culture there, right? Now, to steamroll that culture with colonialism, with all these things, it's not right. It never will be right, and it will never be okay. And it will probably be one of the more difficult things to ever resolve. However, it needs to be acknowledged, and there needs to be a proactive push to try and make this better for the benefit of all Australians. Because through the culture, through that lens, that is the Australian lens. Or else we're just living an English lens in Australia. This is fucking Australia. This isn't England. So through the Australian lens, we can grow. We can learn from each other, and we need to accept each other's cultures as equal as equal importance, because only then can we be better. When someone's doing the wrong thing, white, black, or other, and you know it's wrong, you say that's the wrong thing. You help them out, man. White people, the governments have not put the average non-Australian, like, well, white Australian person in a position to appreciate Aboriginal culture.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's not like I grew up going, oh, I don't like Aborigines. I grew up going, I don't understand Aboriginal culture and the dream time and all that sort of stuff. But now I'm older. Man, if the fucking Pope wants to fucking do his thing in his little Pope mobile and people want to celebrate that,
Hmm.
I'm saying celebrate Indigenous Dreamtime and the same thing, because no disrespect to Aboriginal people, Torres Strait Islanders, and no disrespect to the Christians out there, but this is the story to which they've lived their life. And if you want to say Christianity is better than the Dreamtime, you're fucking tripping. They're
Yeah.
both equally important. They carry the cultural heritage of an entire fucking nation in there, and that heritage, like, tell me now, in your opinion, what do you think has done more damage to the planet? White people's interests or Aboriginal people's interests?
Yeah, right. It's
Because
fucking obvious.
Aboriginal
Yeah.
people, yeah, right.
They
So
put the
fuck,
environment
man.
first as well. But I mean, as
Let's
Australians, we're so
let's
proud of that
embrace
too.
that.
Like it's so naive how Australians are so proud of the environment and they think that that's an Aussie way and that's Aussie culture. But where does it come from? You know?
Man, well, it comes
So
from that all that is just government spin. You know, where I personally, I'm proud. I'm grateful that I was born on the Sunshine Coast, where I get to put my feet in the sand, get to
yeah,
paddle out in decent waves most
yeah,
of the year. I feel connected to the land, and as I've matured into the man I am today, I have a deeper appreciation for First Nation Australian,
that's
and
awesome,
and
man.
it's
Yeah.
it's because of that like, I want, because man, we're streaming the conference next year, bro. We're
Hmm.
streaming it to the world, man. We transfer, fucking massive shout. We transfer. We transfer have come on board. They're going to help me sell digital tickets internationally. They're going to help me sell digital tickets in Australia,
That's
and we're
mad.
going to, man, if that come off in a financial way, they're like, for me, that could be a fucking, like, next level financial game changer, like twice the profit. Like, well,
Hmm.
because the conference, man, for good or bad, and this is why I'm doing the DM. They've got three intentions for tomorrow's DMT ceremony. First is, I've just done the symphony. I've just changed fucking topic halfway through a point. I apologize.
That's you, bro. I'm learning how to deal with this, but I like it. Like
Yeah.
it's
So
different to other
like, but
podcasts,
I
but
got three intentions, right? I got three
yeah.
intentions. Firstly, who am I? Who am I actually? Who am I in the eyes of Justin Fox, and who am I in the eyes of the speaker?
Hmm.
And what do I need to do? To the listener, I apologize to the people listening today, tonight,
Hmm.
tomorrow. Um, who do I need to be in order to represent myself the most authentic way possible? And the other thing was, fuck, I forgot what my
The three
intention for
things.
tomorrow.
Mm.
Yeah. So one is about me. Oh, the other one is, man, for the last 10 years, Design Conference has basically been it's been a gamble. I've been putting in this money I don't have. I've been hoping I sell the tickets to the event to pay the bills, and I have to admit it's not been a profitable venture for 10 years. Now, the main reason it's not been a profitable venture is because I've been growing it at what I call like the 50% rate. Now, this is just a term I made up, where I spend 50% more on every event every year. But when I spend 50% more, it's basically, I'm ticketing it on what I've proven in the past. So like, the monies that come in barely cover the fucking overheads, man. Like, barely. So we finally got it to a position where we put the tickets up from $550 to $660. I think I'm going to leave it at 600. That's full RRP. Only 100 people pay that much last minute. It averages is about $445, like, on average. But our cheapest
Right.
tickets are $330, right?
Right.
The To be able to receive that money, like, for me to benefit off the conference, it's been hard, man. It's been a really hard fucking thing, because um in an roundabout's way, I don't want to get paid for it. Like, I need to get paid for it, but in a roundabout's way, like, these are my friends, these are my family, like,
You're so much like me on that topic. It's like I've come across as a real negative guy about money because I feel like money ruins everything, and you know I've I was running a brand called ZEN Garage for many years. I'm still running it. And we got to a point where we were selling so much product that I started seeing people wearing our product, but they were doing really bad things in it, and they were not being good humans.
Oh,
And
that's terrible.
man, and
Yeah,
we
that's
were
shit.
talking to General Pants Co. about getting our product into General Pants, which would have made me a millionaire, right? Because we almost
Yeah.
made $1 million within 4 years through the till. So we were going
Fucking
off,
hell.
and I hopped on Facebook, despite what my partners, we did this little exercise where we reduced the prices of t-shirts from like $40 to $39.95, and the sales went up 30% because it was 5 cents cheaper. And
From
so I
five
hopped on
cents.
5 cents cheaper, and the sales went up 30%. So then after 2 weeks of that, I was losing my marbles at this time because I was just smoking way too much weed. And I hopped on all our social media channels, and I said, fuck all you cunts that bought a t-shirt in the last
Oh,
two
no.
weeks because it was 5 cents cheaper. I want to buy these t-shirts back off you. You guys don't understand the brand. You guys are running out there and representing it completely with no idea what we're about. And
You're
you should,
manic, not me.
dude, you should have seen my, not only were my partners like losing their shit over, Justin, what the fuck are you doing?
No shit.
You should have seen how many people unsubscribed. That goodbye, Zen. See you later. Our Facebook went from like, a million reach a week to like only a few 100,000 reach a week, and we lost everybody. Everybody just ejected, and I just went, "See yous, fuck off. I don't fuck off." And
But why
so
did you do that?
because he was making so much money, and it wasn't about that for me. It was about, this is a brand where it's about finding your zen. It's about getting in the zone, whatever it is you're into, and it's like in front, man. It was never about making money. It was about like, if you get it, cool. But if you don't get it, don't pay us out for geeking out over this shit. Just leave us alone. We just want to geek out over this. We
Yeah.
want to be this little family where we all understand each other without even having to, if you see someone else wearing the t-shirt on the street, you can walk up to them and have a conversation with them. Whereas it got so big that,
Yeah. You've got brand value.
yeah. So now,
Like you have a
for the,
brand value, you have an exchange with culture.
dude, for the last 3 years, I only give the brand out now. So if I meet
Yeah.
you, I like you, I'm like, here, take a hat, a hoodie, t-shirt, fucking go out in the world and wear it because I like you. You're an awesome person. And now when I see these on social media, they're wearing it, I'm like, I feel like I can sleep at night because they're representing my brand in such a good
Fair
way
enough.
that I don't have to worry about it. So I've come across as a guy who
But
hates money, but I don't hate money. I just I think the feedback that you're talking about, the feedback that you get after you do one of these conferences and everyone's giving you hugs and stuff at the after party, it's like, that is the goal to me. Like, that is the payment right there for me. And it has been
in a
forever.
sense, like for me, it's a little bit different for me because like I'm
You've got,
happy to receive. I'm happy to like because like right now, like we were a growth model for 10 years, like flat stick, like straight up growth model. Now we're a profit model, so we will
yep,
profit. Now the thing is, the break even was like 90%, but because we've not increased that 50% growth, and we've put the tickets up fucking 20%, our profit does increase drastically. Like it drastically. I'm going to be able to hire somebody for the first time
yep,
ever and have their entire fucking salary in there. And so what for me it translates to from a terrifying social experiment where I discover what it is that I'm made of, it transpires into it is a brand now. Like, and it's not even my brand. It's a living, breathing organism that doesn't exist anywhere but in energy, and it's what the other people say it is, and I can tell people it's not that because it's this until my fucking face goes blue. But at the end of the day, it's what I believe. It's what everyone says about it. And the difference between me 3 years ago or 2 years ago was like, oh man, I just really hope I get my money back and people really enjoy it. It's now I've come to the realization that I've freed myself up to accept the burden of the profit and that I will use the excess funds in order to grow this in ways that people never
Exactly.
experienced or expected. And I'll come and go like this. By the way, um, I fucking love you guys, and as a result, fucking your favorite speaker in the world, fucking, Barack Obama. We paid Barack Obama $100,000. He's coming to Australia, and only TDC ticket holders that bought tickets this year are allowed to come to this free and exclusive event to have dinner with Barack
Dude,
Obama.
I
And
100%, I get it, man. You're maturing and leveling up and getting real, and I get it. I just think there's that childish kid in me that's always like, it's almost like an argument with a partner, right? Where I'll fucking argue till I'm blue in the face, but then I'll go to sleep and I'll wake up the next morning. I'm go, fuck, I was a dick last night, and I'm sorry,
yeah,
I'm wrong, and I'm still that guy. Like, even after all this shit, I'm still like, you know, compulsive and uh,
do you
obsessed. And
meditate? Do you
no, see,
meditate?
I've tried, man. I just, oh my god, I can't do it. It's just too
Just get an
noisy up
app,
there, bro. No, I've
man.
tried.
Or
I've had really good people come over and
try,
try it, and it
keep
works. It
trying.
works. It works when they're there, but like, to try to do it on my own, I'm like, I'm an addict, man. I'm an addict. Like, I'm like,
Well,
I'm like
why
what
don't you
all the
try
other, Mm.
yoga? Yoga
Yeah,
is
yeah,
a
yeah.
physical meditative state where, like, I know it sounds whack, man, but
No, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. So
life,
enough people, enough
life's
of my
too hard.
heroes do
I know.
yoga, and enough of the
Yeah,
people that I absolutely respect do yoga and they meditate. So I'm like, I know this is not a shitty thing. It's just that my life, I've never gotten good at something unless I was fucking crazy about it. And my whole life is like to add more feathers to my cap and make more marks in the wall. So I'm not one of those fakers. I will never do anything unless I fucking master it first. And the only way for me to master something is to lose myself in it. So meditation is one of those things, and yoga is another one of those things for me where um, I'm almost like, okay, fuck, this is gonna take me some time to get good at this. I know I can,
oh
but
man,
I need to be in the right
100.
place. I need to be in the
But
right place.
all I can say is this, right? If you look back on your life and you've been in dark places, right?
Mm, mm.
How you got into those dark places is your business. And we can talk about that privately ever if you want to talk about it, because, man, I'm always open, always available for anyone who wants to talk.
Mm.
But I don't know the answers, man. I don't. But I
Oh,
do
none of us
know.
do.
But when you quieten your mind and somehow you're just there and you have a fucking app going, today you're going to think about things that are important to you, and you're going to acknowledge yourself that you're good enough, and that what your efforts are okay, because, man, we are all broken and imperfect in more
100%.
ways than we even know.
100%.
And to
100%.
acknowledge that you're broken,
Yeah.
but the path back is meditation, is yoga, like self-acknowledgement,
Yep.
self-awareness,
Yep.
emotional intelligence, emotional understanding. And when you get there and you have
Mm.
these little bits and pieces, I think what happens is, and I got this through sport,
Yep.
but I think what you get out of it is positive self-talk. And
Yeah.
when you have, like, when I was saying earlier, like, I have no idea how long we've been talking. I apologize if we're fucking rambling. I'm trying to do my best,
No,
ladies and gentlemen.
rambling
Um,
is good. Yeah.
but earlier on, I was saying I was in the car listening to a podcast, and that there was a person on the AM radio saying that they have 1,000. Most people, average person, has 1,000 negative comments per day. I have this voice in this positive self-talk that's like acknowledging that it's like, today you don't feel great. Today, you just want to watch the World Series when really you've got other things to do. Today you want to do this. Today you want to do that. But is that serving you? And are you are you being your best self, and how can we work on that together type thing. And my body's like, you can do it, you know. And if I'm really struggling, I'll just remodel the office, you know what I mean, and I'll move everything around like I've done. And then I'll go, oh no, I'll try this, I'll try that. But at the end of the day, man, like when it all boils down and when all the chips settle, when fucking this, that, and the other, all this sort of stuff, you got to live with yourself. And
Yeah,
in here, man,
yeah,
in here,
yeah.
I'm proud of me, man.
That's
I'm
good.
fucking
Hey,
proud. I'm
yeah,
proud of me, and I wanna help other people be proud of them, and I want to help people find their own self talk and their own positive voice, and like somebody who I feel does this on a level that I aspire to embrace is Dean Poole, the head of Alt Group in New Zealand. And like, man, this guy represents to the fullest. Like, man, Dean Poole, like, just see how he's just talking about him, just lifted my spirit. Dean
mm,
Poole bought every ticket to semi-permanent Auckland this year, and he's doing a ballot, and he's giving them away
that's
to all
insane.
the New Zealanders
That's
because
insane. Yeah.
because people are in a tough spot in New Zealand,
Mm,
and culture is the fucking backbone of our countries. And you can see right there that fucking Kiwi culture coming through.
yep.
And
Yep.
and you can see that Dean's gone, let's fucking showcase our locals the same way we're doing at TDC this
It's
year
far
or
from
next year. Or
half-assed, man. It's all in. It's all in. Yeah.
there's no
Yeah.
such thing as a halfway crook, bro. And
But
and so I just
dude, you know,
say,
I think being compassionate and being like taking this softer route is the way to go. Like I think that whole kick up the bum thing is not working. It hasn't worked for so many years now, and you know,
it works for some people, it works for me.
yeah, but it's like if you're in a sense, if other people are, you know, like I said earlier, like a lot of people might listen to this podcast and think you're really woke. What a lot of people that are awake do is when they're trying to inspire someone that isn't awake, it's almost patronizing when you listen to it. It's almost like they're coming down a little bit too hard. And it's
Oh,
that
for sure.
kicking the bum thing. And I think like, you know, like that going back again to that point of like, if I feel like someone's faking it, to be compassionate and reach out and say, are you okay? As opposed to, dude, come on, man, what the fuck is it with all these shitty fucking posts? You're better than that. No, no. You know, like I think it's really easy to try to kick people in the bum and try to inspire them that way.
I,
But I
I
think
think
like
I, th- I
the
think
compassionate
kicking
route is where
someone in
it's
the
at.
bum. I think kicking someone in the bum publicly is like is almost the other person. You know, if someone's being
It's
negative online,
dangerous,
and then
man.
you're
It's
like,
almost like
it's like
bullying.
trolling, and then
It's like
yeah,
bullying.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you troll the troll, like, man, I've been called, man. People have called me out online about things before,
Mm-hmm.
and not that I really wanted to say this, but like instantly I'm off them. I'm just like, fuck. Like in my mind, I don't retaliate. But
Yep.
I'm like, fuck that person for not approaching me, in a DM and saying, bro, I heard that you fucked up. What
Mm,
the fuck's going on there, man? And be like, man, I totally fucked up. I fully let the team down. I let the brand down. I let
mm,
myself down. And I don't even know who the fuck you are, but I need you to know, like, you don't even fucking know me neither. You don't even know anything. And
that's
that
right.
doesn't make what I've done wrong right. But I promise you, by this time next week, that wrong will be written, and it'll be written with interest. And it won't happen again. And my sincerest apology. But when someone calls me out on the line, I'm just
In
like
public,
this.
yeah. Mm.
Yeah, in public, I'm
And
just
you
like,
don't know who they are either. And
yeah,
and
yeah.
they're gonna,
And
yeah, exactly.
in my mind, I'm just like, you know what? That fucking person
Dude, it's savage. It's
will
savage out
never
there.
benefit. They'll,
Yeah.
they'll never benefit from what I do directly, because
Yeah.
what's the fucking point? What's the point of trying to help a hater? Like, the only thing you can do, I feel, in this world is continually take the high path and continually be the person that you want other people to be. And then
Dude,
when you
it's
fucking go and you die,
yeah.
and everyone comes to your fucking funeral,
That'd
people
be
are
the
gonna
right
fucking
people.
cry.
It'd be the right
Yeah, they're
people.
all gonna
Yeah.
cry, and they're gonna fucking be like, they'll go to the pub and they're like, remember that time he or she did this? How good
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
that? Oh man, that reminds me of the time he or she did that. And then fucking remember that time fucking he or she fucking bought all the tickets to semi-permanent because
Yeah.
like we were in the fucking thing, man. I've never heard of such fucking generosity.
That's
And
legacy,
then
man.
people,
That's legacy, you know. Like that's the thing. Like
and I
with
want
the
that. I want legacy.
well, with the Zen Garage brand, like when I was starting to fall into this deep depression, um, I wrote about it all through the brand, and I don't think any brand does that. Like I talked all
Mm,
about suicide. I talked about suicidal thoughts, attempt. I talked about which medications I was put on, and my whole journey through that. You know, waking up without a heart on, and like how that was destroying me. So I hopped on different medications. I wrote everything out in Medium, and then I would post it all on the Zen Garage socials as well as the Zen Garage blog. And so many people, like I said, all the people that were following it because we were posting half naked chicks and cars and the cool shit, they started to write on Facebook, "Fucking get on the meds, you cunt. Fucking, you're losing the plot, Zen. See you later." And it's hilarious that there's Are You Okay Day and everyone's sweet with it. Everyone's like, "Oh, are you okay?" But when it's not Are You Okay Day and I'm like sitting there pouring my fucking heart out through the brand and people are like, "Dude, get on the fucking meds, you can't." I couldn't believe how savage that was. To me at that point, I was like,
yeah,
just
that is
climbing
savage.
out of depression. It really hurt me that these are the kids that are following my brand that were loving me just last year, and this year they're kicking me when I'm down, you know. But like, fuck them,
Yeah,
they're
that is
gone
fucking
now.
super savage.
But
Yeah,
they're gone now. I don't
yeah.
care. Like, I needed to. This is my brand. This is something that I want to leave as
That
a
makes more sense.
yeah. So it's like I share everything, man. And when people talk about companies doing better because of transparency, I thought, well, why not completely open up? Why not have no fucking wall?
Mm,
You know, and it was difficult. Like I was seeing a girl who was struggling with me not having any sexual drive coming out of depression, and I wrote about that, and it made her feel uncomfortable. Fair call. Not everyone's made for this
yeah.
openness, but in the end of the day, now the people that are following me for the right reasons, and
Mm.
you know, people
They
reaching out to
understand
me.
you.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I sleep so much better at night now. And like, yeah,
Man,
sure,
you
I get
should
some, you know, I get some freaky
be proud of
messages,
yourself,
man. You
man.
know, I get freaky messages from people who
Yeah.
are super down, and I didn't expect so many people to reach out. Like half of the business sort of entrepreneurial side of me is like, damn, I wish these people would comment in public underneath my post so that more people could get something out of this. But at the same time, people aren't cut out for that shit. They don't want their name to be
Absolutely.
right. So I'm getting all these private messages, and I'm like, half of me, the business side of me, is kind of like, fuck, I wish they were posting it out there so that I could answer it for other people as well, answer their questions for
It's
others.
just
But
about finding a platform that, because like you can imagine, right? You make that post and it's really like deep,
hmm.
and then you've got fucking shallow Mick Shallow posts on there. Take your meds, you fucking cunt, right?
Yeah,
As if you're gonna post away that, like I feel you, Justin, man. I've been there, bro. You
mm,
just keep fucking soldiering on, man. Fucking
mm,
brighter
mm.
days are just around the corner. And then fuckwit's gonna comment on him going, fucking you guys should fucking snort your meds together, you fucking girls, And that guy's just like gonna fucking lose it,
Right,
So
right.
but like in a roundabouts way, for right or wrong, like you could have another thing that's like on the side, and you could go like, hey guys, this, that, the other. I just want you to know it's been tough times. It's been tough times for me. Da 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 da. And I want to talk about how I've been going. And I've created this thing over here. And if you ever have in a down spot or in a dark area, I'd appreciate your support. And I've never really been down per se, so I don't know how to position this correctly without sounding insensitive.
Just
But
being
come over
anonymous,
here,
man.
yeah. But
Yeah,
like come over here and have a chin wag with me,
yeah,
and
and
that
if
way
they can
you've
be
got
anonymous, I think it'll work. You know, I think if people can be anonymous, they would be more than happy. Like I wrote a big feature article about hiring an escort for the first time in my life the other day, and I posted that all over my business channels too. And it makes people feel really uncomfortable, man. Like, you know, is this a fashion label, or is this like, what the fuck is this? But I'm like,
is it escort prostitute.
Yeah, prostitute, yeah, an escort. So I wrote a big article
Cool.
about like just hiring one for the first time in my life, and I got so much good feedback. But yeah, not in public, man. Like people were, too scared to say anything in public. But so many women
Man,
reached out to me and said, "Holy shit!" Like it's so nice to have
I
someone
think,
with an open mind and open opinions.
I think sex is an incredible topic to talk about. I think, I think, I
But
think, I think, it's really, at the moment, right? There is so much free access to various levels of porn on the net,
oh
and
god, yeah.
um, but being in a poly relationship, which I touched on earlier,
Mm,
man, the reason I was attracted to a poly relationship where like hands down, and no disrespect to any of my homies, was a couple that are in poly relationships, but not my fucking inner sanctum homies that I went to high school with.
mm,
Like, I have designer friends that are in poly relationships, would help me understand it prior to me being in one. But I would put it to you that you need to be the best partner, like better than, like, you need to have your shit sorted to be in a poly relationship, because men, like, relationships are by nature incredibly difficult work. Like, especially an intimate relationship, it's like, oh my god, it's like, man, you have to give over so much, you have to be available so much. And in a poly relationship, the person that's got two partners has to be there for double trouble. It's not just double trouble in the sack, and I'm not saying we have three ways and stuff like that, because we don't, but
mm.
she needs to be sexually available, emotionally available, and spiritually available, and
Yep,
that takes craft, man. And my hat
yep.
goes off to my partner, because um, she helped me understand so much about intimate relationships, and that's
Mm,
why it's been easy for me. Like, I've been in other relationships in the past and totally hooked up on the wrong parts of it, like
mm-hmm.
fucking, oh man, my missus is so hot, da 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 da
Or
da.
jealousy and not understanding
Well,
that it's
well,
almost like you got to understand life's a game, right? The sooner you realize life's a game, there's that I always say this, but there's that saying like, don't hate the player, hate the game. You can't fucking hate the game, man. You can't, because like life's a game. Like when I have girlfriends of mine that call me up once every few months crying their fucking eyes out because shit's gone wrong in their relationship, I'm like, babe, you got to play the game. Like if this guy's telling you, if this guy's telling you got to take off your sexy photos on Instagram and stuff, you're losing the game. You're fucking up hard. Like life is a game. Like
it's
jealousy
funny.
jealousy is important, and um, like
There's
yeah.
just different levels of. Well, I have a really good friend of mine, and it's funny you touched on that. I have a really great. There's a girl that I met on Tinder, and a lot of people, like, we hooked up a bit, but I just wasn't ready for a relationship. It was shortly after, probably about 3 months after I broke up my last relationship, which was 10 years. And I was
Mm,
just like, oh man, this girl, man, she's beautiful. She's got a great job. She loves to party. I love to party. I'd been in a relationship for a while. I was like, fucking going to festivals, dancing, having a great time, you know, going to her house, chilling out, and so we just became mates, because, like, I was like, look, I don't want to be in a relationship. I really don't know what to do here. Like, I don't think I could be with someone that's likes to party as much as you do. But I still think you're a rad human being. Like,
mm-hmm,
heaps of my friends
mm-hmm.
party, da da da. Da. But I don't think I'll be in a relationship with you, da 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 da. And like, I kind of fucked it up a little bit, to be honest. But we become good mates. Long story
Okay.
short, she's now found a guy, and by all accounts, he's wonderful. But he
Mm,
said to her that we can't hang out. And now
yeah.
it's been like years, man. It's been years since we've been mates. We haven't hooked up for fucking years.
Politics,
And
man.
well, it's not even politics. I'm just kind of like, as a male, I think it shows more self-respect and emotional intelligence to be like, darling, you can hang out with whoever you want. But if you violate my feelings, I'm not going to be here to pick up the pieces. I'm gonna be fucking
Mm,
out of here. Apologies are
mm,
not going to fix it. You know what I mean? Like, I believe everyone should have whatever they want, man. And like, jealousy is something, is like kind of like impatience. You know, people like drive up
Yeah.
people's asses.
Yeah.
Beep, beep, beep. It's like, dude,
That's
you're
it.
the only person that's in a fucking fuss about this.
I know.
And
That's
if you're
it. Yeah.
jealous, it's
Yeah.
type of insecurity. Now, I've never been jealous, so I don't really know how to handle, like, give my 2 cents on it. But I think this. I think if you can come to terms with type of jealousy and be like for example, when I was on Tinder, I was always talking to two girls at once. I mean, that two people will contact you on the same day, and
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, all right, all right, I'm gonna go on a date and I'm gonna have breakfast with these two
Mm-hmm.
chicks and see
Mm-hmm.
if we click. Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean that, you know. And so as a result, I'd be like I'd be on a Tinder date. So what do you do on your other Tinder dates? And they're like, what Tinder dates? And you're like, surely not. Surely I'm not the only
Mm.
person. I go, like, I'm not playing the field here. I'm just saying, like,
Yep.
surely you've got more than one man talking to you, interested in taking you out to
That's
dinner.
right. You're just being open, man. Like completely open. But you know that's fucking refreshing and hard to find. Like honestly, that's the sad part about it. That's
Yeah.
the fucking sad part about it is like I did a little podcast. I have a little podcast called Geeked Out, which is like my gaming mates, and I haven't done much online gaming at all since hopping off the meds, to be honest. Like now that I'm clean, I'm like, fuck, I've got no fucking time to play computer games, you know. But these
You
guys,
do
I was
things
playing with.
max 100%.
I just think it's a fucking waste of time. But I'm still doing this little podcast with these guys because at least then it's productive. You know, it's not just sitting there playing games.
Absolutely.
I'm talking to them as if I'm playing games with them on Discord, but we're doing a podcast. And we did a podcast the other night about like just the fact that these two guys that I game with, one of them's never had a girlfriend, and he's like mid-20s or mid to
Love-
late, and the
loves
other
his com-
guy's sort of
he loves his
never had a
computer
girlfriend
games.
since high school or something. So these guys are like, yeah, I tried Tinder once, I got a match, and she didn't respond. It's so sad, man. The state is so sad. One of the guys was still in a single bed. He's 6'4", he's your height, and he's been in a single bed his whole life. I'm like, because he's never had a girlfriend. So I think when you have a girlfriend, you move out, you rent a place, you get a queen size bed, you know, you move on with your life, right? It's
A queen size bed, no
yeah,
man,
yeah,
king size bed.
king
Who
size
has
bed,
a
right,
queen
right.
size
But like you know, like a lot of a lot of people in their like 30s or whatever, they're still gaming so hard, like they're still living at home with their parents in that single bed, and like it's your fucking
single
right
bed?
as a human being to have sex. It's a fucking right, and it's like it's too
It,
hard. Like
it,
dating and relationships, you're
I think,
saying it's fucking hard,
I think
but
a, a right's probably a bit too harsh, but like, for
yeah,
example, like, if it was safe and like I fully condone this, I think you should like jam all up and take them to all lose their virginities at the fucking escort. Like,
yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like,
I know,
because like
right?
you
Oh,
talk to the escort and you'd be like these guys have zero experience. Like
oh
you
yeah,
can't go,
oh
you
yeah.
can't go and do some fucking next level shit with these guys. Like they're probably gonna fucking jizz when you give them a back massage or something.
Oh
But
my
if that's all it
god.
is, at least like if there's a type of self confidence that they achieve by going and having a like, it's not about having sex, it's
Dude,
about
but dude, like I actually
connecting
think it would
with
change. But I actually think it would change their brain chemistry, man. Like it would,
it would have
like
a massive impact on lives for sure.
I just think
A
their
positive.
whole chemistry would change, and how they think about stuff is so. They're in such a state of defeat, and they're so insecure
That's the
that
part that's preventing them from going onwards and upwards with the female, because it's like me on my first podcast, can't even fucking think. It's like, oh,
you're right,
do
bro.
a compliment you. Am I meant to? What food do you? Oh fuck! Oh man, I've just got to go tight, and they're just gone. You know, like man,
Yeah,
that would be terrifying. Some people have this exact same problem, just going for a job.
yeah,
Some people
yeah,
just
yeah,
have this and social
yeah.
anxiety on this crazy level, and so I suppose to I don't know how to like wrap up or sort of bring everything back in, but man, like we've got to be there for each other. And if you can be vulnerable and be like, man, I'm so scared to have sex with a woman, I don't want to fuck it up. And just be like this, bro. All right, well, let's just go and look at some titties. Let's just go and get you reacquainted with the female. It doesn't have to be a
Yeah.
lap dance. let's just go and break the ice. You know what I mean? Like, best advice I ever got given was, if you're in an interview and you're absolutely shitting yourself, and I've never got to use this advice, but I think it's fantastic because I've never had a job. But if you're ever in an interview and you're like shitting yourself, be like, yo, like, I am fucking shitting myself. Do you mind if we just have a quick break? So can I just have a cup of tea so you can fucking goose fraba? Like, just fucking relax, bro. Because you don't want to be like fumbling around, because awkwardness almost breeds awkwardness, creates an awkward thing. So like, if someone's awkward, you could literally go to them like this: hey, I think you're beautiful. I think you smell really wonderful. And I'm really glad that we're here together. You don't need to be awkward at all. I'm not going to try and take you home. And that's why I was saying earlier on Tinder, bro, I was always breakfast. Because like, we have this mad conversation about, dude, I'd be like, hey, insert your name here. I think you're wonderful. I think you're wonderful. I think you're a beautiful, intelligent woman. But I've got to go to work. What's the chance we could do this again on Friday in the morning? Do it Friday in the morning. And then they'd be like, yeah, totally. And then they can go and fucking end there. They can have sex with the other 2 or 3 guys that they're.
That's it, right?
Because I got morning locked down, right? And so the evenings
Yeah.
for the other guys, right? And then on Friday, man, I had such a pleasure with you.
See, that's high level gameplay to me, man. That's like high level chess right there.
Yeah, that is being real. That is
Look,
being
you said the word a
aware,
second ago. You said the word. You said
emotional.
vulnerable. You said vulnerable, and
Yeah.
that's, for me, like, that is probably the biggest feedback that I get, especially from women. They message me and they like find the fact that I'm so vulnerable so refreshing. And I didn't ever look at myself as being vulnerable. I just think that I'm being blunt and open and insensitive, if anything. But if they want to take it as vulnerability is a good thing, I'm like, I'm all for it. I've had it said to me enough to know that
Man,
it's not a bad thing, you know?
you're only being insensitive if you trying to be insensitive. Like that's like a bad thing. But if you're accidentally insensitive, you can always apologize.
Yeah, that's
some
right.
people
That's
are
right.
sensitive.
That's right.
They're just not for you. Like,
Dude, like I said, like if I've had too many
I'm
wines, I tend to be a bit insensitive. So it's just what happens.
man, when I'm partying or if I've had to and I'm intoxicated, I'd like to think I'm the funnest person you've ever met. Like, I have so much.
until you listen to yourself back the next morning, man. That's the problem.
Oh, well, I hope not. I think it's a lot like this, except people, they jump in the vulnerable, they get vulnerable with you. You know what I mean? You can be like, yeah, so what about this and what about that? And then you end up having this like 2 or 3 hour fucking chin wag with some of your best mates about, your parents and, your girlfriends and your partners. And then you come out of it going, man, I feel energized and I feel refreshed that I know my mates better and my mates know me better and I know that they can talk to me and all that sort of stuff. And I suppose that's what love's all about, right? That's what it's all about.
It is, man. I think it's hate to use the term woke. Like I think, if you're so long as we're nice to people in our awoken state, I think it works okay. Like Jim Carrey is completely, as a comedian, Jim Carrey lost the fucking plot. He had bad shit happen in his life, and now he's so woke that he is patronizing as fuck when he gets interviewed by people. He'll be on the red carpet and some chick will be like, "Oh, what you're wearing is gorgeous," and he's like, "I don't exist. I'm not here. You're just particles." And you can just hear how awkward these people get in front of him because they're just interviewing people on the red carpet and just being robots. But he'll just hammer them with, "This isn't real. This is the fucking I'm only here on the red carpet tonight because I looked in the Google, and what was the most fucking stupidest detached boring event I could go to tonight? It was this." And like, so he's really he's really awake, but he's angry. He's very angry, and he's very he's not exactly inspiring people to wake up like he is. It comes across as being quite patronizing, and it's just anger. I think he's very angry, and I think he's very you know, he's figured things out, but he doesn't expect anybody to understand him at all. So that is a
I
lonely
like I
lonely
like
place to be. Hmm.
I like what's his name? Donald Glover, Childish Gambino.
Oh, I don't
Oh
know him.
man, you don't know him? Childish
No,
Gambino, Donald
no.
Glover. Oh man, this he's a entertainer. He's a musician from the United States, a black musician, and he wrote that one song with "This Is America," and it just had a lot of like critical views on America and its systemic racism before George Floyd. Like,
Right.
but still, when it was fucking fuck. To be fair, America's so fucked up
Mm.
that you can get in a real dark place real quick. Like when you
Yeah.
look.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so, but I just love the way this guy's lived his life. Like, man, I once caught him at a festival, and man, he was fucking bringing the energy. Like, man, aura. This guy had a
Mm.
fucking universe hanging around his head, bro. Like, this dude was
Mm.
bringing
Mm.
it so much energy. He looks smart. He's attractive, man. He's probably a fucking kafillionaire. He looks like he's on top of his fucking game. He's writing fucking like shows on HBO. He's addressing topics, man. This guy is not fucking wasting any time in
Mm.
being a part of the new narrative. And
Mm.
I mean, I'm surprised you don't fucking know him, man. You're crazy. You gotta look up Donald Glover. Like Donald Glover for me is like a do you remember back in the day, I won that thing to tour the world for TUIs and I got to meet all my design heroes?
No, I don't remember, but that sounds mad.
Yeah, yeah, it was sick. So big ups to TUIs. But TUIs flew me
Go
around the world to
Tooheys.
yeah.
Fuck.
So the idea was that they gave me a 6 pack and I'd have 6 beers with 6 of my heroes and like it's like a documentary, dude. Like I was on like Fox television and shit. And
That's awesome.
but you had to write down who your heroes were. And if
Mm.
I and like my number one was Steve Jobs, but
Okay.
because you go and meet your heroes, but Steve Jobs had just become ill. Then it
Mm.
was Dr. Dre. This is well before Beats, man. I just fucking love Dr. Dre. For some
Mm.
reason, I love Dr. Dre. But if
Mm.
I was to do it again today, I reckon, yeah, I'd like to be like left alone with like a couple of my mates and a couple of Donald Glover's mates and Big Bag Green and just be like,
That's
fucking,
it.
what's up, man? It's
Let's
my
go
pleasure to
there.
meet you.
Let's
Welcome to
go there. Just take it there.
yeah,
Yeah.
and just fucking have a couple of roll up a couple of joints, drink some nice red wine, eat some good food, and just talk about life. I think that guy would have a lot to offer. And
That's
man,
it, man.
podcast goals, bro.
Dude, that's almost my way of judging characters these days is like, would I have a beer with that guy? If I would, yeah, sweet. If I'm like get these vibes of like, I don't think I'd have a beer with that guy. I'm like, no, yeah, maybe later. So
I have for me, I guess one of my fears is like, you want to get people onto the cast that you've never met, and very
sure,
opinionated or whatever. But
sure.
I don't want to have to feel like I need to cut someone down and like, because like you have a brand, right? So like my brand is the following, and the following is what they're into, and sort of it's expected that you speak into that place of you can't just be like go on a design podcast and talk about fucking trolls. You know what I mean? Like trolling, it's a bit like who fucking cares in a sense.
Yeah,
But in
yeah,
certain aspects, you can't talk about design on a fucking cook show. You know what I mean? So,
sure, sure.
but the I do jostle with who will come on our cast, but at the end of the day, I hope that the things that I'm attached to, the things that I do, the people I rub shoulders with, that they have enough respect for me that we can make a better tomorrow for all Australians, like
Mm.
especially First Nation Australians. I'm a little disappointed at the state in which we're in with our Australian culture. And when I mean Australian culture, I mean Indigenous culture,
Yep.
because it's not Australian culture without it, in a sense. And it's been really confusing, really, that because didn't have any really good Indigenous sort of mentors to come through that. But I think we're on the right path, and like what Attenborough said at the end of his doco, he's like, all this shit, the chain reaction, like this is where we're going to be at 2020, this is the population at 2030, da 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 da, all the way out to 2050 and maybe 2100. And then it was like, oh my god, we're fucked. Should I have kids? You know what I mean? And then we turn around, and then he goes, but
Mm.
we are coming through with these new technologies, and we are doing this, and we are doing, and there is a way out. But
Yep.
today is a day for action. So I got on the internet and did my post, just like you said, how people do their
Yep.
post.
Uh-huh.
But I wrote it with so much love and so much intention that, because like, man, I'm doing my trip tomorrow,
Mm.
man, and like it from all accounts, it's going to be the equivalent of being completely and utterly smashed down into pieces, down to molecular level, down into
Yep.
atoms, to the point where the connection between the atoms that make up my feet and the atoms that make up the earth, I understand that they are touching, like universal love
Dude,
and all this.
I listened to the Joe Rogan podcast, and he almost cannot go through an episode without mentioning DMT. So, um,
Yeah, well, yeah,
he's a
that's tomorrow for me.
huge fan of it. So, look, all the best. I mean, I think we should wrap it up. We've been talking for a while, but like, all the
How
best
long
with
have we
it,
been
man.
going?
Um, 2 hours,
Oh wow!
couple of
Thank you,
hours.
everyone who made it.
Yeah, well,
Um,
yeah, exactly. I
look,
hope people found some bits of gold in there. But
yeah, and big,
dude, like
big,
I'm
big
I'm
shout out.
curious. I want to check in on you. I want to check in on you next week and see how this.
I think I'm going to be pretty fragile, my man. Be
Yeah,
pretty
yeah, yeah.
fragile. I think I've heard it's a pretty overwhelming experience, and I've also heard that like it can derail your life. But so I've been using this week, like just say one last thing, like
Mm,
Attenborough did touch on a bunch of things, and basically indirectly spoke about the importance of being vegan or vegetarian at least, because of basically said a third of what's on Earth that's living is the human race.
mm-hmm,
Basically, 60% is the food that we grow for us, like the meat that we eat,
mm-hmm.
and the last 5% is the wildlife, the birds, the shit that we consider animals. So like now he says, I've heard other things, but I'm not dumb. I put one and one together. But this week, I've specifically, because I have to with this trip, I can only eat like really eat vegetables this week
Okay.
because it's just how the medicine works. Um, and I've been confronting myself, and taking my sort of views into other people who have had like negative or and positive impacts on my life. So I've been like specially tapping in with my mates and be like, hey, so stoked you've been part of my journey. I really appreciate it. Da da da. And then I've spoken to other people who I've struggled with and be like, hey, yo, like I feel like there's so much resentment between you and I that's it's unwarranted. And if you ever want time, perhaps we could make time to talk about that and bury the hatchet, because at the end of the day, man, I'm going to do this ceremony, and there's things that I want to get right with me that are holding me back that I don't know how to change.
Yep.
Emotional, mental points of view.
Yep.
And dude, I hope I come out of it realizing, which is going to be like very hard,
Mm.
like a very difficult wall, but I can't overcome. I haven't been able to climb these walls on my own. So I'm going to do it to confront this, and it's going to be real difficult, man. And it's going to be fucking gut wrenchingly difficult. But I'm going in there with an open heart so I can reset and be like, I've been reborn and I'm back on the earth. And if you think you know Matt Haynes now, man, you wait till you meet Matt Haynes in 10 years from now, because I'm going to be a fucking incredible human being. And I'm
Dude,
looking forward to every single part
I
of it.
really love it, man. And I think like I feel like I'm jealous if anything. Like I would
Yeah.
be right there with you tomorrow, man, because like um I think I've felt like in the last few years I felt like I really needed something like that. But like just hopping
Yeah.
off the medication has helped me so much to not be in this sort of boring every day turns into a week, turns into a month. And I think even just getting off the meds, I feel more slightly manic again.
Smoking weed does that for me.
Oh man, but I don't know. I just feel like I'm in a like okay, so now I'm in that sort of maybe potentially dangerous place again where I might have some low lows, but Like,
It's okay.
I'm not
Just
scared of it.
acknowledge them. Just,
Exactly, right? So
just be in a low low and just be like, I acknowledge I'm in a low low, and I acknowledge that the next high is coming, and
yeah.
my goal is to not get this low ever again. And then when you get really high,
That you
just
just said it.
breathe, man.
You just said it,
Breathe.
man. Like, I just don't think, like, I think I knew I was heading into that low that I went in through like the last couple of years, and I was doing it on purpose, man. I was really piling it on, and I knew what I was
Yeah,
doing.
you were
It's
trying to
not.
fucking
I
you
was
were trying to
fucking.
find the edges of the game.
I'm looking for an exit, bro, and I just like. I know now. I'm so hyper aware of. My God, it takes a lot of fucking work to get that low. Like, I just know that I'm not going to go there again because it would take so much fucking destruction
Well, man,
to get there.
fr-
So,
from my perspective, man, massive congratulations to you for doing a podcast, because, man, sharing your feelings is awesome. I've
yeah,
appreciated listening to your feelings, bro. And I
cheers,
can
man.
see, I can hear in your voice that you, like, not in your voice, but in your messaging, like, there's still conflict.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, like, and it's awesome that you were here and you're going there, man. And I have no doubt that if you find a way to position your mind correctly, dude, you're going to do everything that I've done, everything that's ever been done. Like, everyone knows you're a clever guy. I know you're a clever guy. Like, I wouldn't have come on your show. Like, I mean, we know of each other, but like, the people that I know you through are family to me. Now you're family, bro. Like, we're down. If you ever come to Brisbane, there's always a room at my joint, and I'll
Sweet.
pick you up from Brisbane. I'll bring you up here, man. I don't know if you can see, but man, I'm on 550 acres of fucking virgin forest, bro, with a couple of
Crazy.
like grassy areas. It's fucking gorgeous. And I've got my office clean, I've got my new rug, and I'm 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 this close. I think I'm fucking like what? So at 5:45 tomorrow, I'd lift off. So
I'm
I'm
very jealous,
20,
bro. I'm very
I'm
jealous, man.
29
I'm like,
hours away from becoming. Man, like, if you think I'm fucking woke, tomorrow I'm gonna be woke the fuck up.
that's
Like
it.
this is what it does. And I just I wanted to be in a position where I was comfortable with who I am, comfortable enough to take the veil off and actually see myself. And
Yeah.
for good, bad, or otherwise, I'm going to do the very best I can, bro. And I look forward to being on your show again one day, man, and being like, well, I've watched this podcast before I do it and be like, oh man, that
I
guy was
know,
a
right?
fucking yeah.
No, no,
So, but and so
I'll definitely check in on you, man. I want to check in and I want to hear about it. So if it, it won't be a podcast, but even if I just send you a message just to see if you're still alive or not, I'm
yeah,
curious,
it'd be
man.
fun.
Like, it's it's a proper it's a proper life choice. So it's a big deal, man. Good on you. It's not a nothing. It's definitely
Thank you.
another feather in your cap and mark on the wall, I would say. So
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, like Cleveland Indians all the way, baby. Let's get those feathers up there.
just good
It's
on
my
you for
team.
ballsing up, man. I think that's what it is. It's just ballsing up, like I don't know. It's
I've got, I've
yeah.
got
There's no other way to put
I've
it.
got a thirst for that, buddy. I've got a thirst for that, man. Some of the experiences I've had are just too good. So I just feel like even at worst, I think it'll bring a level of enlightenment, and at its best,
Yeah,
absolutely life changing.
yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, man, thanks so much. I don't know really what to do from here. Just thank
No, no, that's
everybody.
cool. Yeah. Thanks everyone for listening. If you've made it this far, that was Maddie Haynes. All the best, Maddie, with your experience tomorrow,
Thank you.
man. Stay on the
Thank you very
line.
much.
I'll hit stop recording now, but stay on the line for a second, yeah, and we'll wrap it up.
All right.
All right, cheers,
Yeah.
bro.